Hey everyone, Mr. Weeks here again. Today we're going to talk about solving multi-step equations with specifically equations that need to be simplified before we solve them. So, let's take a look. So if we got 3x minus 6 plus 5x equals 58, we need to do a little simplifying first. So before we make our t-chart, we need to combine our like terms. So, here we go. We have a 3x, we have a 5x, and then we have a minus 6. So we can put our 3x's and our 5x's together to give us 8x. The negative 6 can't combine with anything. And then we still have our 58. Now, some people try to combine the negative 6 and the 58. We cannot do that because they are on opposite sides of the equation. So just keep in mind, you can only simplify on either the left side or the right side of the equation, but you can't simplify across that equal sign. Alright, so now that we simplified, now we toss out our t-chart. It's a regular two-step equation. So, add 6 to both sides. So we end up with 8x is equal to 64. Divide both sides by 8. And x is equal to 8. Alright, that was a pretty easy one. I just wanted to introduce the whole concept. Now let's get into a little bit tougher ones. Alright, so now we see that we have a little distributive property going on. So we need to make sure we do that first. Okay, so 8 times 3x gives me 24x. 8 times a negative 7 gives me a negative 56. And then we still just copy down the 13x plus 67 because we haven't done anything with that. Alright, switch up my color. Now we do up our t-chart. Equations on both sides. Equations on both sides. Variables on both sides. Which one has more, left side or right side? Is 24x bigger than 13, or is 13 bigger than 24? I hope everybody realized 24 is bigger than 13. So now we need to move our 13x, and the only way to get rid of it from the right side is to subtract it. It's 13x minus 13x gives us that 0 that we're looking for. So we subtract 13 from 24, we're left with 11x minus 56 equals 67. Switch over to red this time. And we just add 56 to both sides. And what do we come up with? 123. Ew, this one doesn't come out nice. I apologize. That's 67. It's supposed to be a 65. Well, we're going to go ahead and, we're going to pretend that it was a 65. So this comes out nicely. It's a 121. Divide both sides by 11. And x is equal to 11. So I can do that because I'm the teacher. And hopefully when I actually give you the worksheet or you practice online, it comes out nicely and not some ugly decimal. Alright, so overall though, not too bad. Remember, make sure you simplify first. Alright, we had to do a little distributive property before we could do anything. Alright, let's take a look at this one. Last problem. So, if you notice on the left side, we've got 10x minus 3, and it's all over that 7. Alright, that 7 really means you cannot do anything until you take care of it. It's saying I dominate the left side. So in order to get rid of it, the opposite of dividing by 7, in this case would be multiplying by 7. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So when you multiply by 7 on the left, it cancels out. So we're left with 10x minus 3. So we just drop down the numerator. And over on the right side, now we have some distributive property. So we have to distribute to both pieces. So 7 times negative 2 gives me a negative 14. 7 times 3x gives me a 21x. throw out our t-chart. Which side has more x's, left or right? Is 10x bigger than 21, or is 21 bigger than 10? At this point, everybody knows that 21 is bigger than 10, so we need to subtract 10x from both sides. So the x's on the left disappear, so we're left with negative 3 is equal to negative 14 plus 11x. And then we just add 11 to both sides. Add 14 to both sides. And we get 11x is equal to 11. Divide both sides by 11. And then we end up with x is equal to 1. So the important thing to realize on this, whenever you see, let me grab a highlighter. Alright, whenever you see something like this, alright, that means you always have to take care of that denominator first. If it was just 10x over 7 minus 3, then obviously you take care of the 3 first. But when you've got that division that's taking care of or underneath the entire side, you have to deal with that first. Alright, so remember that step. Write that down in your notes. And as always, if you still can't get it, after checking your notes, ask somebody who's done it. If there's no one else that's done it, come talk to me. I'm Mr. Weeks. Have a great day.